You said it's on. All right, we're good. We got this. Do you need anything?
Yes, a bottle of water.
Yes, I'll get one from here.
He's not giving anybody. When the kids hold the gift, other pictures are being taken. We'll give it back. No, the cup was the gift. And they just walk away with the cup. Happy day. How are you? Blake? Thank you.
Good morning. Let us take our seats. We have some important business to do. So here we go. What a pleasure it is to welcome you to this prize ceremony for the class of 2021. Indeed, in this year filled with social distancing and isolation, how remarkable it is to be under this tent together to recognize those who have given themselves fully to the simultaneous pursuit of the best self and the common good. This is the epic endeavor for each Millbrook student. This is exactly as it should be in a school whose motto is non sibi sed cunctis, not for oneself, but for all. Let me also offer a caring, loving reminder to wear your mask to keep us all healthy and safe. Given that I'm fully social distanced here at the lectern, I'll remove mine when speaking. Thank you very much. Like everything this year, our celebration is different from years past, and it will be fully consistent with our approach to this COVID-influenced year. We have battled to be here together, to build community together, to fulfill Millbrook's mission together. It has been a challenge, a wild ride, really, and a success by every measure, and the class of 2021 has led the way. As I said in my chapel talk on Wednesday night, these seniors have been determined, resilient, optimistic, and trusting. Rather than let COVID completely define them and their sixth form year, they fought back to define and shape the extraordinary success of this year. Individually, they will be smarter and stronger because of their efforts and investment. Collective, they will remember the challenges, the anxieties, the doubts, and they will find a shared sense of pride and accomplishment in what they have achieved with their teachers as leaders of this community. Thinking back to this group as third formers, they've come far and have saved their very best for last. I also want to acknowledge the parents. The class of 2021 has learned lessons from you, from their grandparents, and from other family members, which is why we're so happy to have you with us today. My faculty and colleagues are truly grateful for your partnership through your children's Millbrook years, and especially for the trust, confidence, and support that you've shared so generously this year. Seniors, please join me in a well-deserved round of thank you applause for your parents and grandparents. It's now my pleasure to introduce Marilee Weil and Charlie Weisberg, head prefects for May to lead this Prize Day ceremony. Charlie and Marilee.
A huge thank you to you all for coming out to Prize Day, and we are beyond excited to be here celebrating the class of 2021. Quick thank you to the maintenance staff and all the people that contributed to making this happen. We literally could not have done any of this without you, and we know all the hard work it took, so thank you. Now, we would like to thank our parents and grandparents for their gift to the school in honor of our class, the great class of 2021. The class of 2021 courtyard allows students to connect with one another in the beautiful space outside of Casertano Dining Hall. Outdoor spaces were very important to all of us this year during the pandemic. Future gatherings will be held in this space named after our class, and we will celebrate there at our 5th reunion. The class of 2021 will not be forgotten. Again, thank you to our parents and grandparents. Now, Marilee Weil will present the class gift.
This year, the sixth form was lucky enough to have the option to allocate money to something we all cared about and wanted to see grow at Millbrook. The prefects first met and agreed that in a year where the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion became clear on an international front, it was obvious that our class should do something that would push for continued DEI work at our school. We then sent a form to the class asking them to choose between two options. Ultimately, we chose to grant the money to the Student Diversity Leadership Conference, a conference that takes place in the winter and sends students from our community to engage with peers from all over the country. In a usual year, students fly to where the conference takes place to participate in a range of activities such as affinity groups, or to see world-renowned speakers, or to partake in meaningful group discussions that work to further understand and cultivate DEI in independent schools. Students have and will continue to be sent to this conference, but next year, the expenses for this conference will be paid for by the class of 2021. We want to make it clear that we care about the future of diversity, equity, and inclusion at our school and want to be part of the push of affecting positive change at Millbrook. Thank you. Now, Ms. Devandria Bernard will present the McSweeney Tour Guide Award.
The McSweeney Admission Award was established by the class of 1956 in memory of Edward F. McSweeney. Each year, a member of the sixth form class who embodies the spirit of Edward F. McSweeney through hospitality with visiting families is given this award. This young individual must be an exemplary ambassador of Millbrook, embodying Millbrook's core values while conducting tours, serving on panels, or representing Millbrook at receptions. It is my honor to present this year's McSweeney Admission Award to Olivia Charles. I learned that Olivia has wanted to come to Millbrook since she was 9 years old. I know this because she wrote to Mr. Casertano in the 3rd grade asking to start a ski racing team. Olivia doesn't even ski at Millbrook, but of course a lot can change in almost a decade. Even at the age of 9, 5 years away from high school, Olivia is trying to make Millbrook a better place. I can confidently say that Millbrook has been a better place with her here, and it's been amazing to watch her grow and give her all to this community. I can trust Olivia implicitly, and she is one of the most dedicated students that I've had the pleasure of working with. She goes above and beyond in every interaction she has, and she's able to cultivate relationships with families even beyond her first meeting. Sometimes I think that she should just do interviews instead of me. I mean, Mrs. Grover, you should just hire her in 4 years, just saying. Olivia, you've been an exemplary student in everything you've gotten your hands on. and the admission office thanks you. You left it better than you found it, and I'm sure that 9-year-old Olivia would be proud.
Nora Rahman and Lauren Jones will now present the yearbook dedication.
This year, we would like to dedicate the yearbook to the Casertanos. After 31 years of service to Millbrook School, Drew and Linda Casertano will leave campus this June to embark on a well-deserved retirement. Under their graceful leadership, Millbrook has been transformed from a place whose future was uncertain to a strong community driven by values and a commitment to the common good. Mr. Casertano carefully crafted our mission as a school after the vision of our founding headmaster, Poling, and has cultivated a culture firmly based on this mission and on the value of being known and needed. His constant presence as a steady mentor, his steadfastness in prioritizing the things that have facilitated Millbrook's emergence as a powerhouse of an independent school. Mrs. Casertano has not only been deeply involved in the development of local independent schools, she has also been an integral part of Millbrook School's growth over the past 3 decades. Mrs. Casertano has served as interim director of the annual fund in the admissions department and finally as the director of financial aid. Through her work to bring deserving students to this campus, she has largely shaped the student culture that makes Millbrook's culture so extraordinary. As the Casertanos depart Poling House this summer, they leave Millbrook in a position to continue to grow and prosper, and the Millbrook community will be forever grateful for their service to the school. We wish them well in their future endeavors.
Are we going? Every year, the graduating class chooses to honor a member of the community alongside the dedication, and this year that person is Mr. Clisby. Mr. Clisby leaves Millbrook after 23 years as a teacher, department head, coach, and advisor. He expects his students to be active participants in the process of their own learning. He asks them to think critically of their own ideas as well as those of their peers, those of well-known scholars, as well as his own. Most importantly, he expects them to have an opinion on the issues discussed in his classrooms, which are always of great importance to the world at large. He fully expects that these opinions will change, and he creates space for people to learn from each other. For Mr. Clisby, the other people in the room are the greatest source of growth for all of us. It is because of this faith in his students, the subsequent expectations to which he holds them, and his belief that their voices matter, that he is not only a beloved teacher, but extremely effective as a teacher. As an advisor, Mr. Clisby ensures that he is tuned in to the extreme. As a Clisby advisee, I've often wondered how he knows everything, especially information that I did not give him and that he has no way of knowing otherwise. The reason he makes sure he knows everything is that he cares very deeply about his advisees, and it is important to him that we define success for ourselves, and he is always ready to help his advisees meet their goals. Mr. Clisby is as, if not more, invested in his advisees' growth and general well-being than they are. As an aside, this might seem like an obvious one for an advisor, but he gives really good advice. I don't think he's ever been wrong with me, and I've lost track of the number of times he's said something, I don't listen, and then it turns out a couple months later that he was right. I will miss him a lot, as will this community, so thank you, Mr. Clisby, both from me personally and on behalf of the class of 2021. Mr. Vincent Soriano will now present the four-year letter awards and the Frederick W. Kutzton trophies.
Established by former faculty member James L. Jordy, this award is presented to any four-year student who lettered in the same varsity sport or sports for 4 consecutive years. I am proud to announce that this year there are 20 recipients of this honor. The award is a testament to each student athlete's commitment to the athletic program here at Millbrook. Will each of you please come forward when I call your name, and with the audience, please hold your applause until the entire group is on stage. We're going to have to bring it in tight here, everybody, so bear with me. Yassine Amir, squash. Connor Brissett, lacrosse. Jenna Brissett, volleyball and lacrosse. Caitlin Brissett, lacrosse. Olivia Charles, field hockey. Isabel Finnemore, eventing. Right here. You see it? You got it? Caroline Hopkins, field hockey. You need me to slow down? Artemis Kaprulu, football. Jack Lenartz, football. Griffin Mandelbaum, football. Jalia Musa, soccer. Peyton Parker, basketball. Leela Powers, tennis. Emma Shad, field hockey. Sam Smith, football and lacrosse. Piper Stroutman, volleyball. Zoe Tucker, basketball and lacrosse. Charles Weisberg, cross country, basketball, and baseball. William Weiskopf, football, and Anna Wilson, cross country.
Tip the tops forward. Tip the tops forward like that. Good. Avoid flare. Okay, we're gonna do 3 shots. One, 2, 3. Good. 2 more. And the last one.
Hold up, hold up. The Frederick W. Knutson Award is awarded to a sixth form boy and girl who best represent what it means to be the most outstanding athletes in their class. In addition to exhibiting top-notch athletic ability, these students will have shown a commitment to academics, will have played at least 2 varsity sports, and will have demonstrated the integrity, leadership, and character that is fundamental to Millbrook's mission and spirit. Selected by Millbrook's varsity coaching staff, this year's winners of the Frederick W. Knutson Trophy are Shakur Muhammad and Jeannie Wallner. Shaq and Jeannie, I don't think any of your peers or teachers are surprised to see the two of you on stage to receive the Knutson Award. The two of you represent what it truly means to be a student athlete at Millbrook. And in your time here, both of you embodied what it means to live the school's motto of non sibi sed cunctus. Not only have the two of you been dominant athletes, but more importantly, you've been great teammates and leaders in this community. If any of you were lucky enough to have watched a boys' soccer game in Shaq's 3 years at Millbrook, one astute observation you would probably make is that Shaq's pretty good at soccer. This, of course, is very true, but so much so that Shaq will continue to play next year in the ACC at Duke University. But Shaq is more than just talent. As his soccer coach, Coach Akole, says, Shaq embodies what it means to be a student athlete in every area. Despite not playing any interscholastic contests this fall, Shaq showed up each day, worked hard, but more importantly, he led and showed his younger teammates what it means to be a great athlete, both on and off the field. In Jeannie's 2 years at Millbrook, she has been an impact athlete in soccer, hockey, and lacrosse. Jeannie has that perfect balance of being a fierce, and I mean a fierce competitor in every sport she plays, while at the same time, she also keeps things light enough for her teammates and makes practice truly enjoyable for both her teammates and her coaches. On the ice, Jeannie has been an elite ice hockey player here at Millbrook, earning a Division I scholarship to Long Island University. Jeannie's hockey coach, Coach Fryman, describes Jeannie as a true leader, whether it was early morning practices or dragging her teammates to the gym after a tough practice. Jeannie always led while at Millbrook. Shaq and Jeannie, thank you for your leadership and commitment while at Millbrook. We are truly grateful for your dedication to your school. We couldn't be prouder of the two of you. Good luck next year and beyond. Thank you.
Miss Sarah McWright will now present the Christian Staley Class of 91 prize for technical theater and the Nathaniel B. Abbott Cup.
The Christian Staley Award for Excellence in Technical Theater is given in memory of Christian Staley, class of 1991. This year's winner is Summer Vogliano. As a member of the technical theater team, Summer can be loud when needed and quiet when it's called for too. Authoritative, yet sensitive to others, she is not a contradiction in terms, but a person who leads with versatility and vulnerability. In honor of Summer's work and dedication, the Arts Department awards her with a one-of-a-kind technical theater varsity letter jacket. The jacket is navy wool with white vinyl sleeves. It says Millbrook School across the back. On its left chest, it says Summer Vogliano. It'll be very useful today. Wear it with pride. Congratulations, Summer. This year's Abbott Cup winner is Marilee Weil. The Nathaniel B. Abbott Cup is named for Nathaniel Abbott, longtime teacher and administrator at Millbrook School. This prize is given in recognition of that student who has helped shape the spirit of the arts at Millbrook School. CES is an acronym that stands for Culminating Experience for Seniors. Marilee's CES project was a series of paintings with the title, How to Change Your Mind. I was lucky enough to be at her presentation. In Marilee's reflections on her time at Millbrook, so much went wrong. She thought that her CES would be a piece of theater. Nope. When she started painting instead, visitors to her studio complimented the wrong paintings. Nope, again. Mistakes were made, expectations dashed, and my goodness, who can't relate to this? Through her paintings, Marilee showed us how she found ways forward and the beauty of moving from one expectation for your time at Millbrook to another. Did you think you would be a singer and it didn't work out? Act or dance. Are people complimenting the wrong paintings? Do what Marilee did, paint over them. I hope to amplify Marilee's advice for all of us. If you can stay in a challenging moment and use it as inspiration to explore something new here, you might just find yourself on this stage at Prize Day. Marilee, my arts department colleagues and I are so pleased to honor you as the 2021 Abbott Cup winner. Congratulations.
Now, Mr. Lewis Fewer will present the English Writing Prize.
Each spring, the English department invites sixth form students to submit a writing portfolio that displays their strength and range as young writers. Thank you to all the sixth form students who shared their poetry, fiction, personal essays, and fierce analytical writing with us. Today, the English department is delighted to honor Hannah Stewart as this year's Writing Prize recipient. Hannah's writing is as close to impeccable as it gets in high school, says Jarrett Clark, assistant head for academics. And her AP English teacher, Kathy Havard, describes Hannah's knack for making her readers rethink everything. Like when she notes how irony and Pride and Prejudice reveals an internalized misogyny, not just in Austen's characters, but in you and me, her readers. Hannah's writing expresses what feels close, personal, and yet unsayable. Her portfolio opens with a lyric essay that connects the bewilderment of expressing her own emotions with a childhood spent in nature. In the essay, Hannah's paragraphs break into poetry, and she writes, "I was an artist then, red hawk, my chubby hands grasping to express the vastness of flight. Playing house was never good enough, for we were pirates, sinking canoes into the cove, glaring with curiosity as they breached again, like great wooden whales. I was an astronaut, consumed by the stars." Congratulations, Hannah.
Miss Martha Clisby will now present the Sykes Mathematic Prize.
The Sykes Mathematics Prize is given annually to the sixth former who has shown curiosity, grit, and talent in the subject of mathematics. This year, the prize is awarded to Hanji Zhu. I made sure to double-side this speech because I knew that Hanji would glare at me the whole time as I was giving it if I didn't. Hanji is a gritty and talented math student for sure, but that fact alone is not why she stands before you today. Hanji's curiosity is unparalleled. During her third form year, she delighted in finding and sharing different approaches to difficult problems in pre-calc. In Hanji's fourth form year, though she took calculus, she would frequently join the Algebra 2 honors class during her free period to learn about 3D printing and matrices. When Hanji was a fifth former, she took AP statistics against my recommendations online so that she would have more time in her sixth form year to explore other subjects. And during this, Hanji's sixth form year, her mathematical curiosity seems to have ramped up exponentially. In April, Hanji gave a chapel talk, not about one of the many things she's already done on campus, but rather about a new discovery she had made, an essay called The Mathematician's Lament. A few weeks ago, Hanji caught wind of a puzzle I had given to my current calculus class, and she was so intrigued that she worked with one of my students to create a computer program to solve the problem at dinner. And in these last few weeks of her Millbrook career, after stumbling upon the book Gödel, Escher, Bach, which ties together math, art, and music, she's been spending her free periods dissecting it with Mr. Feidelson, just for fun. You look so nervous up here. Why are you nervous up here? Hanji, I hope that the inspiration math provides you continues to translate to curiosity in others for years to come. You are the embodiment of the curiosity we wish to instill in all math students. Thank you for sharing yours with ours.
Mrs. Peggy Malik will now present the Clark Language Prize.
The Clark Language Prize is given in memory of Margaret and Renee Clark, French teachers from 1954 until 1973. It is awarded to the graduate or graduates who have demonstrated excellence in modern language in areas that were the hallmarks of the Clark's teaching: oral proficiency and cross-cultural understanding. This year, I am pleased to announce that 2 students will receive the prize: Olivia Charles for excellence in Spanish and Justin DeFore for excellence in Mandarin. Here is how Justin's Mandarin teacher, Mr. Wei Guo, describes him. 4 years ago, Justin entered our Mandarin program without any prior Mandarin learning experience. After 4 years of hard work, he is now a stellar Mandarin student with an advanced level of proficiency. He consistently speaks Mandarin in the classroom, actively participates, and is always ready to help his classmates whenever needed. During Justin's time at Millbrook, he took the opportunity to go to China and not only study Mandarin in an immersive environment, but also to experience authentic Chinese culture. Since his return, he has generously shared his many fun stories and experiences with his classmates. Here is how Olivia's Spanish teacher, Mrs. Alaudni Stephanopoulos, describes her. Isabel Allende, the Chilean author, once said that writing a novel is patient and daily work, like embroidering a tapestry of many colors. You go slowly, you have a pattern in mind. Olivia has applied a similar approach to her Spanish language studies. Coming to Millbrook School as a third form student, she entered the AP language classroom. Olivia took Spanish during all 4 years. Her courses after AP level included AP Spanish Literature, Film and Culture of the Spanish-Speaking World, and this past year, an independent study titled Literature and Poetry of the Spanish-Speaking World. Through her genuine interest in the Spanish language and culture and her diligent work in improving her written and oral skills, Olivia has developed into a very skilled speaker of the Spanish language. She also demonstrates a deep cultural understanding of the topics represented in the novels, short stories, and poems that she has studied this year. Olivia and Justin, it has been a great joy to witness your journey in your exploration of Spanish and Mandarin. We are proud to have been a part of your linguistic growth, and we wish you continued success in the years to come. Congratulations.
Miss Ava Goodale will now present the Frank W. Trevor Cup and Science Prize.
The Frank W. Trevor Cup is awarded to a member of the graduating class who has made the most significant contributions through study, project, or zoo work to the natural sciences and environmental stewardship at Millbrook School. Please join me in congratulating Amber Hatfield. The following statements are student comments after the Science Symposium this spring, where Amber shared her findings from her independent research project, which was titled Analyzing the Effect of Enrichment on Cortisol Levels in Lemurs Through Behavioral and Fecal Analysis. If I took this class, my research idea would be like Amber's idea. After watching Amber's presentation, I am curious about doing my own research at the zoo. Amber's project inspired me. In many ways, Amber was a natural and impressive choice for the Trevor Cup. She has worked at the Trevor Zoo for 6 years, completed a Millbrook Engage internship at the zoo, is a head curator, and tripled in science classes this year. In the science department, we are trained to recognize talent and passion like Amber's. We easily gravitate towards her commitment and drive. We're easily inspired and hooked by her love of the natural world. But it is harder to find a student who inspires other students, sparks their curiosity, and ushers in the next group of young stewards. It is rare to find a subtle and soft-spoken student like Amber who can bring others on board, not through boisterous cheerleading, but through pure and persistent actions that are approachable and relatable to her peers. Amber said it best herself. I used to think conservation was some large, far-fetched, complex concept that could only be done by professionals, that actual tangible change could only come about after years of research and schooling. But now I think anyone can be a scientist. Anyone who has the passion and motivation to observe and apply their abilities can be a scientist. Amber, not only is this true for your journey as a scientist, but you have brought those far-fetched, far-off ambitions closer to home for your peers, clearly evidenced by the number of research projects for the zoo next year. Amber, you have created a lasting legacy at the zoo and in the science department, and for that, we are grateful. Please join me in congratulating Amber on earning the 2021 Trevor Cup. The Science Prize is awarded to a sixth former who has demonstrated achievement, curiosity, and creative thinking in exploring scientific concepts, whose enthusiasm has acted as a catalyst in furthering scientific understanding and dialogue, and who clearly strives for excellence in all science disciplines. It is with great pleasure that the Science Department awards Fenway Powers and Hannah Stewart with this year's Science Prize. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to get a little work done in the Art Center while Fenway was in the middle of one of his famous jam sessions on the drums. His cadence caused me to hit high gear, moving effortlessly, tapping away on my computer. I thanked him later for helping me be so productive and having such a great time doing it. Little did I know that that brief moment actually sums up Fenway as a science student rather well. And many teachers and students have Fenway to thank for elevating their work and making it a joy along the way. In this way, Fenway is generous with his excellence in the classroom, helping others, taking on any and all roles, engaging in heated conversations, and completing assignments not for their requirements, but for the satisfaction in learning and being around learners. His best work is a collision between his creative and analytical mind, whether that be a 5-volt fruit battery, his motor building expertise for the American Rocketry Challenge, or AI-powered computer players to play games he coded. Fenway's best work is a collision between innovation and collaboration, where the concepts are used to test the outer boundaries of his ideas, where the ideas build friendships and the friendships build ideas. Fenway's learning draws a crowd, whether that be at the science symposium or a typical day in the classroom. If we offered a STEM concentration, Fenway surely would earn that distinction. If we offered a concentration and making learning fun for everyone, Fenway would also earn that distinction. Thank you, Fenway, for making the Hamilton Math and Science Center come to life and bringing us all along in your joyful pursuits. On paper, Hannah is a typical recipient of the Science Prize. She has doubled in science for the last 2 years, taken our most rigorous offerings, and earned the highest marks in doing so. After those achievements, the word typical no longer applies. Hannah is like no other student I have ever taught. Her work achieves a level of elegance and sophistication that is unrivaled. Even when challenged with the messiest scientific questions, sometimes of her own creation, where a perfect answer does not exist, Hannah's thinking emerges as crystal clear, composed, and refined, with a seamless and fluid trajectory. I often reread Hannah's work, not to gain more clarity, but simply to soak it in. Of course, I am not the only one who shares these impressions. Hannah presented her independent science research project on sloth behavior at mineral licks in the Peruvian Amazon to a group of researchers this winter. Immediately, everyone wanted to know where I found this remarkable young woman who spoke with the professionalism and intellectualism of a college student. More recently, she shared her final project at the Science Symposium with students. The caliber of her work, especially her 14-page, 51 citation paper, brought their jaws to the floor. Hannah shared these findings with her mentor, George Mason University, who instantly recognized her work as surpassing many college students, noting that she is one of the most motivated, independent, and well-spoken students he has had the privilege to work with. Hannah will be the first ISR student to publish as first author and present at an outside conference. Hannah, your many talents will be a gift to the world, as they have been to us at Millbrook School. Please join me in congratulating Hannah Stewart and Fenway Powers on winning the 2021 Science Prize.
Mr. Mark Clisby will now present the Blaine History Prize essay.
This is handy. Come on up. Each year, the History Department awards the Blaine Essay Prize to the senior who writes the best essay in a senior elective. This year, the finalists chosen by the department were Claire Mensch, Caitlin Brissett, Molly Cassane, Hannah Stewart, Nathaniel Clisby, and Charlie Weisberg. This year's winner, chosen by our outside reader, Professor Leonard Neverez of Vassar College, is Charlie Weisberg. I don't know about the rest of you, but I found this year a little difficult. Almost every day, some event challenged my understanding of the world. Nationwide disputes over how the government should handle a pandemic, over how we should talk to each other about race, over how to distribute social and economic goods. Internal debates about how much schoolwork is too much, about how to care for restless and anxious people, about what it means to build a school's culture. It seemed like a lot. Of course, in this department, these are things we talk about all the time, but this year, every discussion felt more loaded, more important, more dangerous. That's one reason I have special admiration for the work that these 6 Blaine finalists did. In the midst of all that stuff, they asked each other really hard questions and then tried to tackle them in rigorous, systematic ways. Claire Mensch, with a little snark, addressed sexist stereotypes in Hollywood films. Caitlin Brissett tackled the problem of limited access to asylum for LGBTQ immigrants to the United States. Molly Cassane excoriated the dishonest rhetoric and arguments against the right to an abortion. Hannah Stewart took on the vexing problem of how to balance free speech with the prevention of harm from internet noise. Nathaniel Clisby tried to untie the Gordian knot presented by an unbalanced dictator in North Korea who has nuclear weapons and the support of the Chinese government. And Charlie Weisberg, this year's winner, systematically dismantled arguments against the Deferred Action for Child Arrivals program known as DACA. He showed with relentless precision how the Constitution supports it and how circumstances demand it. Charlie made it clear that he understands the counterarguments, but he finds them lacking. The world needs people like these 6, who are willing and able to provide the kind of informed, reasoned discourse necessary to solve big problems. Congratulations to all of them, and especially to Charlie.
Ms. Cameron Hardy will now present the Emily Roosevelt Class of '87 Public Service Award.
Ah, feels so good. It is said of Emily Roosevelt, Millbrook class of 1987, that empathy, inquisitiveness, courage, and determination defined her daily life. Her drive to serve took many forms in her professional life as a lawyer and in her private life, most significantly in working with the Department of the Interior for public land issues and as an advocate for organ donors, as she herself was a recipient of a new heart several years ago. When Emily died suddenly in 2010, her parents, Chris and Roddy Roosevelt, determined that the best way to remember Emily is to recognize a member of the Sixth Form who serves the public with similar style and commitment. This year's recipient of the Emily Roosevelt Prize for Public Service is Sophie Stark. Says her advisor, Jeff Smith, I didn't know Emily Roosevelt, but from what I've heard, if she were a student today, I think she would be close friends with Sophie. Sophie, your Millbrook Engaged Fellowship was merely an extension of the advocacy you had already embodied as a peer counselor and in destigmatizing mental and women's health issues. Your strong and clear voice for equity and inclusion in all dimensions of human life has mobilized us to partner with you on the Diversity Council and in the Millbrook Menstrual Movement campaign. For your ability to live your truth with compassion and invitation, we thank you. Congratulations.
Ms. Jarrett Clark will now present the Senior Honor Roll.
I will now read the list of 6 formers who are on the honor roll for the 2021 school year. To be on honor roll, a student must have an academic average of at least 86 with no grades below 80. Seniors, when I read your name, please stand and remain standing. Everyone, please hold your applause until I have finished all the names. Luke Baumgardner, Nikki Bessinger, Jenna Brissett, Caitlin Brissett, Olivia Charles, Nathaniel Clisby, Owen Collins, Drew Deary, Justin DeFore, Dan Feigelson, Izzy Fenimore, Saya Gallagher, Lily Gooding, Ella Green, Jack Hamilton, Amber Hatfield, Nina Hoffman, Kaya Jenkins, Busy Katz, Gordon Locke, Griffin Mandelbaum, Claire Mensch, Anna Metzger, Arthur Meow, Shakur Muhammad, Bauer Morrissey, Jalia Musa, Paris Musalam, Skylar Nguyen, Peyton Parker, Jake Percival, Jess Piard, Fenway Powers, Leela Powers, Noor Rahman, Nico Rexine, Martin Rasa, Emma Shad, Katie Shung, Jess Sakura, Sam Smith, Robbie Southwick, Sophie Stark, Hannah Stewart, Emmy Strang, Lexi Strykowski, Biz Thames, Dana Velez, Jeannie Wallner, Marilee Weil, Charlie Weisberg, Natalie Whitman, Anna Wilson, Hanji Su. Congratulations to you all. Well done.
Mr. Drew Casertano will now present the Headmaster's Merit Awards and the Class of 1978 Award.
The citation for the Headmaster's Merit Award reads, "To that senior whose personal strengths and contributions have enhanced the experience of our community and which merit special recognition." This year, I want to recognize 4 seniors: Owen Collins, Caitlin Brissett, Drew Deary, and Izzy Finnemore. Please join me here on the stage. These 4 are unsung heroes, if you will. They work hard, give as much as they can, and ask for little in return. Izzy and Caitlin are 2-year dorm leaders who volunteer for other community services. Drew and Owen, also dorm leaders, volunteered to live and lead in Farmhouse, sight unseen, and have been major contributors to developing a camaraderie and healthy culture in that space. All 4 are honor students and varsity athletes. They say yes whenever asked to help. Drew, Izzy, Caitlin, Owen do it all. They do it well, and they embody non sibi sed cunctus. It is my pleasure to thank them with the Headmaster's Merit Award. The Class of 1978 Award. In 1978, Millbrook was in tough shape. Enrollment was low, morale even lower. The school desperately needed someone to rise up, to build enthusiasm, to make the best of a tough situation. The Class of 78 did just that, and the faculty decided to create an award in their honor. I'm delighted that this morning, William Menard, a member of the Class of 1978, chairman of Millbrook's Board of Trustees and father of 3 Millbrook graduates, is here with us, and I'd like him to come forward to help to present the award. I believe this is the first time. So where is he? Elected by the faculty and presented annually to a member of the 6th form, the Class of 1978 award is given to that senior or those seniors whose contributions in his or her own style reflect the energy and accomplishments of the Class of 1978. Specifically, it is presented to a member of the class whose spirit and enthusiasm have significantly enhanced the traditions and culture of Millbrook School. By vote of the faculty, the 2021 Class of 78 award goes to Lily Gooding and Artemis Koprulu. Pay attention. Here, the operative term is in his or her own style. Here it may appear that Artemis and Lily have very different styles. Oh, how looks can be deceiving. The style they share is to care deeply about their school, of thinking deeply about their school. Each has grown in substantial and impressive ways, In their early Millbrook years, they displayed an unbridled enthusiasm that could be disruptive and annoying even. It has evolved into an energy that brings people together, builds spirit, enhances culture, and is guided by a deeply felt desire to serve the common good. Here again, looks can be deceiving. It hasn't been easy or a smooth ride, right? Should be looking at your parents. Yet Artemis and Lily persevered through disappointment and discomfort, with the result that their teachers and their peers recognized their commitment and leadership abilities by selecting them as dorm leaders and electing them as prefects. In addition, Artemis is the leader of the Millie Hype Squad, Millbrook's cheering section, while Lily, who can be found in the throng of Millie Hype, carries 3 community services. Equally important is that their enthusiasm is informed. They ask hard questions. They seek to understand and to use their leadership to promote change. Lily and Artemis, we admire your style. For enhancing the traditions of Millbrook School, we thank you with the Class of 1978 award. Wait a second. Congratulations. Wait, there's something for you. Yep, that's right. There you go. Artemis. Thank you. Miss Lily. Thank you. Before we send you off to lunch, I want to ask for your help in wishing farewell and Godspeed to members of the Millbrook faculty who, like the seniors, will leave us at the end of this year. Devandria Bernard, Jesse Facey, Wei Guo, Shannon Harris, Brad Hart, Leanne Kowalski, Butch Malik, Peggy Malik, and Kadeem Rogers will pursue new adventures and opportunities. I want to make a special note of Mark Clisby, who has served Millbrook broadly and well for 22 years. As chair of the history department, he has been a mentor, a role model, and the creator of an outstanding program, as well as a superb teacher himself. Please join me in expressing our most heartfelt thanks and best wishes to our departing colleagues. I also ask you to join me in some well-deserved thank yous. Please hold your applause until I get through this short and important list. To Jennifer Costella, Diane Dalton, and Barbara Gatsky, who organized every aspect of today's Prize Day and commencement ceremony with precision and care and style. To our health center staff, who worked overtime this year to keep us healthy and safe and here. To John Petrie and his Aramark staff for catering today and for keeping us well fed throughout this most challenging and unusual year. To Michelle Blaney, Alex Pearson, and Jeff Zalavansky for all the commencement publications and media. And I think, as Charlie said earlier, to Benjamin Day, Marie Garbelano, and our exceptional physical plant staff for grooming our campus for today's celebration, for keeping it safe and so well maintained all year long. Thank you very much. So we're doing well here, folks. We're right on time. And remember, we're building this plane as we're flying it. And there are lunches for you in the dining hall. There are professional photographers from High Point Photography. Where are you folks? Raise your hands. Jason's way over there. There's another person in the back if you would like to have family photos taken. And then I ask, please be back and in your seats by 1:20 so we can have Millbrook's 90th commencement. Thank you very much.